house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes, the house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan. With me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
What's up?
This is episode 214. Bam's running the ones and twos with us once again. We got delayed by a day. This is Wednesday. Normally we're in the studio on Tuesday, but we got delayed by a day because we had a once-in-a-lifetime snowstorm. I'm talking like 8 to 10 inches of snow. Unprecedented, something we may never see again in our lives. Bam, did you have fun in the snow?
Yeah, had a great time.
You and Brosette were out there frolicking on the trails?
Something like that.
Yeah. What about you? You enjoyed it?
No.
No?
Yeah, I don't like snow anymore.
I thought it was pretty awesome, if I'm being honest.
I went out for a little bit, but I was like, man, this shit's way wetter than I was like, fuck this, dude. This shit gets wet, and I'm like,
well, we had ski gear because we honeymooned in Colorado, so we were all set with in terms of the clothing. But right when it started really coming down, we put the baby down for a nap, so we walked out and like we're in the street. Nobody was out there. It was pretty crazy. That's what I took. I have a picture of when we were out there. I mean, it was like seriously coming down. The most we'll probably ever see here. I think the only thing comparable on record was in like 1895. So we do have to address, though. Are y'all part of the like, so much for global warming? Are y'all part of that crowd?
No.
Are you?
I don't really think too much about it.
Did you say it? Did that come out of your mouth throughout the day? Like,
no, but I mean, that's besides the point.
no. What do you mean?
I mean, not just because it snowed.
We got to establish, though, global warming, just for the record, does not mean that everything just gets hotter.
What does it mean?
It means that, yes, the Earth is heating, that we're going to see out of the ordinary weather events, like fucking 8 inches of snow in Louisiana.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
How?
I think global warming's bullshit.
Okay, that's fine. But the definition of global warming, people are like, so much for that global warming. Like, it just means it's going to get hot. It's like we're going to have unforeseen
Yeah, I don't think the
weather
snowstorm's
events.
evidence that global warming is, I guess, proven wrong.
Yeah, if anything, that by the book of global warming, like the definition, remember it snowed in Mexico that one time. It's like you're going to start seeing things. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm a believer or a non-believer, but
yeah, I don't really know.
I do think it's hilarious though when people are like, so much for that. It's like, no, this is kind of what it's saying, is that we're going to see out of the ordinary weather events. Like, this falls into like, see, global warming may be real because of the fucking blizzard that just happened in southern Louisiana. Yeah. I just saw a bunch of people put it out there, and I'm like, it is kind of funny. It's like you're proving that you don't really know what you're even talking about. You're taking a victory lap the wrong way. But I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. It was an unprecedented. I would class. It's a blizzard for what we're used to. That was a blizzard.
Oh yeah.
The thing about snow, though, it's like I just found myself watching it. Like, people up north, that's just another day. It's just any other day where they're like, yeah, in the winter it snows. But I'm like, there's fucking ice falling from the sky. Like, I'll stop. I was just watching the snow for like 20 minutes. They would think we're morons.
Yeah.
Like, it's not anything out of the ordinary for them.
It was unbelievable because it just kept coming.
Yeah. No, it got to the point where we were like 2.5 hours in, and it was still coming down just as hard, that I was like, what's going on? Like, this could be a problem.
Yeah.
We're not equipped for this at all. I will say this, though. So we're more than 24 hours past the initial snowfall. We're not getting any more. I'm over it now, though. Like, I'm ready for winter to be done altogether. I wish that was like, okay, like, because now the snow's melting. It looks like shit. It's an inconvenience now. The allure of it is gone. I'm ready for winter to be over altogether.
Yeah, me too, because it's been cold even before the snow.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of the reason I was like, man, I'm done with all this cold.
But I feel like this is a good stopping point. Like, we got the snow, and then that symbolizes the end of winter. We're done. I don't want to deal with it anymore. The college football season is in the books. Again, this is episode 214. Hit the like and subscribe button. The college football season's in the books. The Ohio State Buckeyes are your national champions. If you tuned in to our Futures episode 190, I think it was, back in August, I said I was only giving out one team to win the national championship, and it was the Ohio State Buckeyes. Plus 420. We also hit Ohio State -8 in the national championship game itself. I said it a bunch throughout this year. It was not the year we expected for quite some time, and then we went on just a generational run starting in bowl season. It's something we've done every single year. We pick every bowl game no matter what. We did it again, and as luck would have it, as God would have it, whoever you want to give the credit to, just an incredible run. Completely turned the ship around. I ended the season 91-82-4. That is 52.6%. Nick ended the season 71-65-3. That is 52.2%, but he went 15-6 in his locks of the week. That's 68.2%. And over the last 3 years, you said you were 41-20-1.
Yep.
Which is like 67% over a 3-year sample size. One game a week over 3 years. And just to translate that to people that don't exactly know what that means and only see people on Twitter talking about hitting 85% of their bets, they're not. If you go 68% lifetime, you're rich, and you're not going to have to work anymore. So
yeah, if you go 68%, you're probably going to have a hard time finding somewhere that's going to want to take your bets.
Yeah. You're going to have to make multiple accounts and realistically probably move to Las Vegas. But yeah, it feels good. It feels good. I've had futures over the years that have been good bets and just fell short when it mattered most. So it felt good to get this one, and we got one more that we're holding on to. The Buffalo Bills 11-1. So we're going to find out what's going on with that very soon. Do you have any big takeaways from the game itself, Ohio State, Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, I was on the first half, plus 5.5 with Notre Dame. We had a really long drive to start the first quarter and ended in a touchdown.
A dominant, like, oh, my God, they can't be stopped.
And I was like, oh, I'm really interested to see what happens when Ohio State gets the ball, and then they had a 6-minute drive that ended in a touchdown. The other two Notre Dame drives in that half were kind of – the second one was plagued by a false start and then a ticky-tack holding call, put Notre Dame in 2nd and 25. So, I mean, that's an obvious punt there for them. And then what happened in the third one? Oh, 3rd and 5. They hiked the ball into the guy coming in motion.
Yeah.
So Ohio State was unstoppable in the first half on offense. They were 6 for 6 on 3rd down. I think they had one incompletion. Mm-hmm. So not exactly how I thought it was going to go because Notre Dame had a comeback push in the second half. I didn't really expect that to happen.
Do you think Marcus Freeman got outcoached?
Yeah.
I think Marcus Freeman got outcoached by a mile. We've already talked about the defensive game plan didn't make any sense, in our opinion. At least that's what it seemed like whenever we were initially watching it. So I do. I think Marcus Freeman got outcoached tremendously. You try to do this bend, don't break, keep everything in front of you, let them get the ball in the hands of the best athletes in the country. Big mistake. But when you go down to it, he punted down 21 at midfield. He kicked a field goal down 16 inside the 10-yard line. And then instead of just going and getting the 4th and 2, he decided to run his punt team out there with the backup quarterback, and he did the fake punt, and they didn't get it. I think he got outcoached by a mile. It looked like the moment was too big. They did make a push, and they got back into the game, so you have to commend them for that. But I think Marcus Freeman deserves to shoulder a lot of the blame for coming up short in this one.
Yeah, in the first half, Ohio State was just a step ahead of them, right?
100%.
Every they would try to go man, then they would try to go zone. Nothing was working. They couldn't get any type of a pass rush, and that's a big thing. It's like if you don't get a pass rush against Ohio State, then their athletes are out there running in space. You can't guard them forever.
And you're going to see Will Howard go 11 for 11
Yeah.
for 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
And then, that was stupid to fake the punt, but it worked. And the guy, he just didn't catch it.
Yeah, it was Faison.
Yeah, Faison just didn't catch it.
They had a guy who was there to pass the ball, the backup quarterback who we saw step in against Penn State and did not look bad. But so it's not like you had a punter throw into a backup cornerback or some shit like that. You had a quarterback throw into arguably your best wide receiver, one of them. And yeah, it didn't work. But just line up on – I just felt like every big decision, he made the wrong one. Every big moment, he made the wrong decision. I disagreed. I was scratching my head. You're down 21 points. Why are you punting on 4th and manageable? I don't remember what it was exactly, but it wasn't like it was 4th and 15. It was like maybe 4th and 6, if I remember correctly. At midfield, you're down 21 points. And then you're down 16 points inside the 10-yard line, and you kick a field goal, and you doink it, and you miss. Hindsight's 20/20 on the miss. I didn't like the decision before the miss. So I felt like at every turn, Marcus Freeman made the wrong decision. And that's easy for me to say after the fact. I understand. I do think Marcus Freeman's a very good coach. I think he made a lot of bad decisions in this game. I think the defensive game plan was questionable at best. And they were just outmatched talent-wise, which we knew that going in. But they made a push. They were right there with a chance to get back in that game.
Yeah, and then the game-sealing play on 3rd and long.
Yeah, not to take a victory lap there. I tried to tell everybody that Gray, number 29, is a fucking trash bag. And every single play, it seemed, he was a liability. It's exactly what I said. And he worried me the most because it's like we talked about. Texas showed you the blueprint to kind of take Jeremiah Smith away. And it's not like Jeremiah Smith went off, but he got the touchdown in the beginning. 29 was lined up across him. It was a good play call. I thought the play call was the misdirection, get you going this way, and then throw it right back to him. And Gray was jumping up and down pointing, so maybe it wasn't like his assignment. I don't know exactly.
Well, it definitely looked like they were in man because he chased them in motion.
Yeah.
And then
he got that far out of position.
Yeah. I mean, even if he is in position, it's like Jeremiah Smith's probably going to shed that and get into the end zone.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a freak. But so then you have a chance, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 16 maybe. I don't remember what it was. Ohio State went ultra-conservative, ran it. You get 3rd down. Now you have an opportunity to get the ball back down 8, and you line 29 across from the best wide receiver on the planet right now. Maybe on the fucking planet, not even just in college football. This kid's fucking incredible. He's a freak of nature. You line him up against your special needs cornerback, and what do? They go, we're just going to throw it up as high as we can and seal the game. And they did. He drug him on his back like a fucking baby, too, for like 10 yards after he caught the ball.
Yeah, I thought he might score.
I did too, yeah. It was unbelievable. It was there's no way that me, who doesn't have an ounce of football intelligence compared to Marcus Freeman, could tell you that 29 fucking sucks. Don't put him anywhere near Jeremiah Smith because he's going to get assaulted. And then you go line him up a fucking one-on-one with him multiple times throughout the night. It literally lost you the game. The touchdown and then the game-sealing play. 29. Whatever his fucking name is. Christian Gray. Who cares? You'll never hear it again. I don't know. But I do. I feel like Marcus Freeman got outcoached. And I felt like they belonged to be there. It's not like they were frauds or anything like that. You had the loss to NIU. Yeah, I was on NIU plus the points. Who's keeping track of that? But the run they went on after that, they were beating everybody by margin. I think they covered every single game. They deserved to be there. They beat Georgia. I understand Carson Beck got hurt.
Yeah, they covered every game until this one.
Yeah. So they deserve to be there. Ohio State's the best team in the country. Ohio State would get skull-fucked by LSU. 2019 LSU.
Yeah.
I do think it is funny because that's the bar. The bar has been set. And you're going to be compared to the best team. Whoever wins is always going to be compared to 2019 LSU because they're the best team of all time. Ohio State wouldn't stand a chance. They would get the doors blown off of them by they would lose by 2 scores without a doubt. Will Howard's not going to be able to do anything against that team. And with those corners, give me a fucking break. Igbinosun and Burke, I mean, burnt toast all fucking day. So Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson would have a field day. And it feels good. I fall back on it every single year. I'm like, we got to live through literally the best college football team and season and run of all time. And if we had to trade the next decade for that, I would do it again and again and again. So,
yeah, and all the Notre Dame fans like saying, "Oh, Marcus Freeman, Brian Kelly, Marcus Freeman's playing for a national championship. Brian Kelly left LSU so he can play for national championships." It's like Brian Kelly's going to win a national championship.
And what was the
before Marcus Freeman does?
What was the knock on Brian Kelly at Notre Dame? Oh, he couldn't win the big one.
Yeah.
Guess what, motherfuckers? Marcus Freeman can't win the big one either, and he looked like dog shit in that game.
And he loses the Marshall, NIU.
Yeah, you're going to lose to one trash
basis.
bag team every year. So good luck. The margin for error is going to be very slim. Yeah, I mean, Garrett Nussmeier's the Heisman betting favorite, which we both agreed was a little bit of a head scratcher, but not a head scratcher, but disappointing because I told you, we both talked about it. We wanted to bet Garrett Nussmeier to win the Heisman Trophy next year. But at plus 950, he's a fucking favorite. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think the LSU National Championship bet's an interesting one right now. Probably sitting around 20-1, I think.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, so.
And it's we kind of say it every year, but not really. It's hard not to legitimately think that, though, because they've shown you that we are going to spend money, and we already have. You win. Like, dude, nobody's talking about Berrien Brown from Kentucky. This kid's going to be a fucking stud. That dude's a beast.
Yeah.
You got multiple receivers, but then on the defensive side of the ball, it's been the biggest problem. You got that safety from Virginia Tech. On the offensive side, you got the center from Virginia Tech, too. So they're going to get all these pieces, and there's a lot more coming. You're going to have stability at the quarterback position, a guy that's been there now, and he's kind of following the same arc as Joe Burrow. You know? So, yeah, I agree.
And the way they're talking about the quarterbacks of this draft, it's like, okay, well, maybe if Nussmeier would have came out this draft, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about him
because
first.
Because a lot of GMs aren't sold on the top two guys.
Yeah, let me just tell you this right now. I would take – I'll get some flack for that comment, but I would take Nussmeier before I took Cam Ward. And that's not
I would too.
Yeah, but people are going to spin that into something that it's not. The thing is that Garrett Nussmeier has more arm talent than any quarterback in the draft right now. So if you get him with the right coach and the right system, you can mold him into whatever you need him to be. But it's between the ears where sometimes he implodes a little bit. But don't think that Cam Ward doesn't have that in him too, because we've seen the whoopsie-daisy throws from him as well. All right, couple things, and then we'll get into only 2 games, NFL Conference Championships. We'll switch to NFL real quick here. When are we going to call a spade with the Kansas City Chiefs and the referees?
Yeah, I think it's past due, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so for the last 4 years now, the Chiefs have played 10 postseason games. Not one of those games have they been penalized more than their opponent. Every single game that they've played over the last 4 years, their opposing team has had more penalties called against them. I think it was 7-1 in pass interference calls. Come to find out, the team that was penalized the most over that span was the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals played the Chiefs like every year for the past 3 years. So no surprise there. It's one of those things where people are going to try to tell you you're crazy. And the NFL is not rigged. I'm not saying it's rigged, but it is biased. And if it's going to be biased for anybody, who do you think it's going to be biased for? The Kansas City Chiefs with the best quarterback that we've seen possibly ever, in the midst of a dynasty, going for a three-peat. We've seen this year after year after year. You saw it just last week with Will Anderson on the Texans. Clean hit. Honestly, a picture-perfect hit, head up, right to the chest. Throw a flag, roughing the passer. Extended the drive in a critical situation, gave the Chiefs another chance. A game in which they were outgained and they lost the time of possession. They lost everything other than the scoreboard. So it helps when you have the officials on your side extending drives for you that you would otherwise have to punt. We see it year after year. The internet knows it, and it's like, oh, it's some crazy. That's just the internet. The internet's right a lot of times, and you can watch it and go, that was bullshit. I remember us talking about this exactly this time last year, where I was like, they're doing it again. They're doing it again. It is inevitable. You will see a ticky-tack call or just a completely missed call like Mahomes sliding, playing patty cake back there instead of either going down or going out of bounds, playing patty cake with the DBs and then sliding, and then the two Texans players collide into each other, minimal to no contact on Patrick Mahomes, and they throw an unnecessary roughness flag. So unnecessary roughness, that's unnecessary fucking bullshit on Patrick Mahomes back there tiptoeing around, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it's this. Somebody came out and said it where they were like, if it's a borderline call and it's a no-name quarterback, they'll swallow the whistle. But if it's a borderline call and it's Patrick Mahomes, they're not going to take that chance of getting a call wrong. They'll just throw the flag. I would love to see them talk about it and go, it looks like the two players collided into each other. They didn't really touch him. He went right underneath it. Okay, pick the flag up. But it is every single year where it's like, some questionable ass shit.
I'm looking at this stat right now. In the last 4 postseasons, the Chiefs, they've had 7 roughing the passers on opponents, 1 on Kansas City. 4 unnecessary roughness on opponents, 1 on Kansas City. 11 DPIs or defensive holding on the opponents, 2 on Kansas City.
Did they say anything about false starts? Because that's what's crazy, because fucking Jawan Taylor gets a false start every other play in the regular season. All of a sudden, he's on time and on schedule in the postseason. Every fucking time. Yeah, no, it's not that big of a deal. But the point is, it is clearly slanted in the favor of the Chiefs. You can't dispute it. The numbers are there. The eye test is there. Everybody sees it. The internet goes crazy because it happens year after year after year. With that being said, the Chiefs are still really fucking good. This is not like – that's why I said you can't rig a game. It's like I said all the way back when we got fucking screwed in 2018 with the no call. You can't rig a game, but an opportunity could arise where you could dramatically influence a game. And that's what we saw in 2018. But we did still have a chance to get the ball in overtime and make something happen. But if you really want to fucking deep dive into that, the ball that Drew Brees threw the pick on that sailed, it was hands to the face.
Yeah.
It was the receiver got held out of his break. Clear hands to the face on Drew Brees in the middle of the throw. So it's like sometimes you just can't, like, you can't rig it with certainty, but you can influence a game without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, in the NFL especially, it's like
pick and choose when you want to throw a fucking holding flag.
Holding flag, that's you get into 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20. Like, let's say you're 2nd and 10, you get hit with a holding call on a run. It's 2nd and 20. In the NFL, that's nearly impossible to pick up that set of downs. So it's like, that's a punt. It takes away possessions. And they call the most ticky-tacky shit sometimes, especially in the secondary with holding and illegal contact. It's like they don't let the players play every time. And it's so, like, ticky-tacky that it's inconsistent.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I credit to Troy Aikman because he's calling it out where he's like, oh, my fucking God. Like, I can't stand that call. And it's like, finally somebody's saying it. Finally somebody's like, okay, enough is enough. This is ridiculous. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this weekend goes. But as somebody with an 11-1 Buffalo Bills ticket, you got to beat the Chiefs. And that's perfect example right there. When you have D'Amico Ryans in the postgame press conferences knowing we got to beat everybody. Like he's saying, we got to beat the officials too. When you have the opposing coaches saying it, really all the players were saying it in their interviews. Like you got to beat the Chiefs and you got to beat the other Chiefs, basically. Like, I don't know. I think it's a problem. Patrick Mahomes with the flopping shit. I can see both arguments where some people are like, they respect it in the sense of the rules are such bullshit that if they're going to call that, let them call it type of thing. But then also it's like, you look like such a bitch. You look like a bitch. And it's the same thing with LeBron. That's why LeBron gets knocked. So, but then he does as he's falling, he's parallel to the ground, throws a strike to Kelsey or whoever it was in the end zone. And it's exactly what I said in real time. I was like, then he does shit like that. So it's like if you took away the bullshit flopping and fucking whining every play when you get touched and you just did the incredible shit, everybody would unanimously love you and acknowledge that you're the fucking best.
Yeah, it is. It's just like LeBron.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people hate LeBron. He's always whining.
Yeah, take away the extracurricular bullshit. Just go out there and fucking beat everybody and be significantly better than everybody else. And everybody will acknowledge it. You have no other choice. But when you play like a pussy, that's what you're going to get. People are going to get fed up and tired of it. When you have guys like Josh Allen fucking real American quarterback, lowering his shoulder and fucking doing John Elway shit around the goal line. Yeah. That's the guy that they need to be rigging shit for, especially this weekend. 11-1 odds. 11. That's why I said this might be the year the futures bets the chickens are coming home to roost. I'll tell you that. I was paying this fucking bookie all year. This last month, he's like, God damn, what's going on? It's like, I'm fucking gonna put you out of business, Jimmy. That's why. That's what's going on. Did playoff Lamar strike again? Or is it all Mark Andrews' fault?
I mean, I think a little bit has to go on to blame Lamar, but in the end, he did enough to come back. Or were they down at halftime? 14? Or was it?
Maybe 11?
Yeah, it was 11. Okay, yeah. Down 11.
And the Bills were getting the ball at half.
Yeah. So, I don't know, dude. The fumble by Mark Andrews, inexcusable, and then to tie the game. Not the best pass, but definitely catchable for any NFL player, and definitely Mark Andrews. So, yeah, I think Mark Andrews fucked him here,
I disagree. I get it. He did, but he also didn't. He definitely did. Two things can be true. Mark Andrews should have caught the ball. Lamar Jackson should have threw a better ball. But Lamar Jackson threw a fucking horrific interception earlier in that game. Like a punt. Just gave him the ball. Very nonchalant in the pocket. You've got DeMar Hamlin coming in, tackling you by your ankle, and you drop the ball. Von Miller scoops it up and runs the other way. Lamar Jackson turned it over twice. Mark Andrews did have the fumble. That was bad. That was only his second fumble of his career. And then down there for the 2-point conversion on the goal line, he was late. He was open, but he was late. As soon as they ran that play, I was like, oh, there he is. And then he ran 3 or 4 more steps. And he pumped, too. Why are you pumping? He's wide open. Two things can be true. Mark Andrews should have caught the ball. Lamar Jackson was late and threw a bad ball. Wasn't a terrible ball. It was a catchable ball, but he had to turn around and he caught it by his waist. If that ball's here, touchdown or 2-point conversion. 10 out of 10 times. 100 out of 100 times, actually. When you throw that ball, it's probably 95 out of 100. But you increase your likelihood of dropping it, and that's what you saw. Lamar Jackson did what he does every single postseason, and that's turn the ball over in critical moments, not be able to get the job done. But you go last year, Zay Flowers fumbled on the goal line. Nobody gave Zay Flowers shit. But now we're going to chastise Mark Andrews, who's been on the team for forever, and scapegoat him. If Zay Flowers doesn't fumble that ball last year, they probably beat the Chiefs. You remember the one I'm talking about? It was perfect scenario for Lamar to get the heat taken off of him. He did do enough, but it was a bad ball. It really was. He was running this way. He had to turn around, backpedal, and catch it by his waist. Very catchable ball, 95 out of 100 times, but
it wasn't the worst ball though. It was like not a good one, but definitely like you expect in the NFL, even the third string tight end to catch that every time.
No, I agree, but it's cold. It's the elements. It's fucking, they talk about the ball being slick. He was late to it, though. That was what I care about more than the misplacement of the ball. Because if you throw it here, and here is a big difference. And it's late, though. He had so much room. Like, it was clear he was going to be wide open. And he rolled that. It's like he wanted it to be a sure thing, I guess, instead of trusting that I don't know what he was open, and he was late to it. It was behind him a little bit, but yeah, I get you. I'm saying it was certainly catchable. He catches that ball 95 out of 100 times. That was one of the 5 that he drops it, but the other one's a guaranteed. He's catching it every single fucking time if you put it on in stride on the numbers. But that's kind of the knock on Lamar, is that the mechanics are not perfect. It's an unorthodox way to throw the football. That's what you get. You get room for error. Drew Brees puts that shit on the numbers, and it's getting in. You know what I mean? The accuracy's not the best. But yeah, some are calling him playoff Lamar.
I mean, it's understandable. I just think the comeback, though. I mean, I wasn't really expecting them to even get in the end zone on that last drive.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother story. The Bills have a tremendous problem covering anywhere in the middle of the fucking field. Isaiah Likely was wide open. Joe Brady went ultra conservative, though. Like, very conservative play calling and kind of opened the door for them to get back in. I agreed with McDermott's decision to kick the field goal down there. I felt like at 8 points, and it was the right decision in hindsight. You got to make them go the length of the field, and you got to make them get the 2-point conversion as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. People are gonna freak out. They're gonna blame Mark Andrews, and you're gonna see all of the blame taken off of Lamar Jackson. But the 2 turnovers he had were horrible turnovers. That interception, I don't know which one was worse.
The fumble.
Maybe because they returned it, but I'm talking in terms of just
they
carelessness.
They were either at midfield or on the other side of midfield. It's like when you're in positive territory, and the same thing with the Mark Andrews fumble. That was a big play.
Yeah.
Probably going to end up being a scoring drive.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they punted.
Yeah, they might have only punted once. I don't know.
I don't even know if they punted at all. But yeah, if they did, it wasn't more than one. The Bills just kept getting turnovers, and I don't know, playing – I don't even know what you would call it, a fortunate brand of football. But in terms of just terrible decision, I don't know which one was worse, the fumble or the interception. Because the fumble was due to him being too lackadaisical with the ball because he got him by his ankle. So if he just tucks that ball, he's going down. That should not.
Yeah, and that's the thing with those types of players that can improvise and use athleticism to get out of tough situations. Is they're not always mindful of protecting the ball.
Yeah, he just dropped it. Literally, my jaw dropped when he dropped it. I was like, "Oh my god, that was huge." But then the interception was just he misread the coverage, I guess, and just launched it like a hope.
Yeah, he overthrew the ball.
Yeah, by a mile, but the guy wasn't even wide open. The DB was there, and then the safety comes over and gets an easy interception. So, I think Lamar Jackson deserves more blame than Mark Andrews. But when you take into account, like, if you took away the Mark Andrews fumble.
Well, he tried to cut back inside. It's like, what are you doing there? You think you're going to get more yards going that way? It's like you should have just kept it to the outside and got tackled.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
And then he dropped the game time conversion.
2-point conversion, yeah. Yeah. Could have been a better ball. It was late. Yeah, like I said, this is gonna get perceived as I'm like, it's all Lamar's fault. I think it's 55-45. 55% Lamar's fault. What do you think, Bam? Who's to blame?
You already know what he's going to say.
I think Mark Andrews he needs to catch that ball.
Yeah.
Or at least have a chance to go into overtime or something dramatic happens.
There was still a minute and a half. Josh Allen was going to drive him down, score a touchdown.
Yeah, that's the other thing to mention is that, there was still a ton of time. Like, chances are the Bills were probably going to be able to at least get a field goal attempt.
Yeah. But you never know. Anything can fucking happen. Yeah, I just think Mark Andrews is going to be – he didn't speak to the media, which I think is bad. You got to face the music. But it was a bad ball.
Yeah, he could have did that crying thing like Marcus Williams.
Yeah, motherfucker. All right, last thing, and then we will we'll get to our best bets. Is Jaden Daniels the greatest rookie quarterback of all time?
Yeah.
It's got to be. Jaden Daniels is one game away. He's on the doorstep from going to the Super Bowl in his rookie season. Just marched into Detroit and beat the consensus best team in football in the Lions. They picked second last year. They're last year's Texans, but infinitely better. And it's pretty much just because of him. Jaden Daniels is throwing touchdowns to Diami Brown. He has Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson in the backfield. Brian Robinson's averaging 2 yards a carry. He's throwing to Zach Ertz. Terry McLaurin's pretty good. Jaden Daniels is the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen. He's probably a top 5 quarterback in football right now as a rookie. His ability to stay poised in the pocket under pressure in any situation is incredible. His ability to scramble. Yeah, if you're a Commanders fan, you've got to be feeling so happy right now because you've got arguably a top 5 quarterback in his first season, and you've got another 15 years of him. So I'm jealous as a Saints fan. But, yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. Yeah, he's the best. I don't know of a rookie quarterback that was better. Russell Wilson brought the Seahawks. What was that his rookie year? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the second year. I don't know. But he brought the Seahawks to the Super Bowl very early in his career. But that team was
It might have been his rookie year, but yeah, that defense was.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Lima Boojin.
Yeah.
Lima of Boom, whatever they call it.
What the hell? Legion of Boom.
Okay.
Leam of Boojin? Bam, you just let him say that? You didn't say anything?
I didn't hear what he said.
What was the Seattle Seahawks defense called with Russell Wilson? Oh, God. He's going to.
Man, I don't know.
12th man. The Legion of Boom.
This guy.
You don't know?
At least I knew. I just said it.
Boom. Yeah. Double chunk chocolate cookie. Nick said he said I don't even know what you said. What did you say?
The Lima Boojin.
Yeah, he just called it the Leam of Boojin. Dude, that's not even that's.
Shit.
And then you remembered it exactly. That phrase right there has never been said in the history of the English language. I could almost guarantee you that. The Leam of Boojin. Dude, that is crazy. And then Bam over there, that was like just in one ear, out the other. Didn't even register. That was crazy.
Something up.
All right.
Yeah, but that defense was badass. Not only in the secondary, but the pass rush.
Bobby Wagner at linebacker.
What was the Bennett guy's name? What was his first name?
It was Marcellus and Martellus.
One of them was Martellus Bennett. The other
one
was
Michael Bennett. Yeah, Mike.
That,
So Martellus Bennett was the tight end.
Yeah.
Michael Bennett was he used to not wear shoulder pads.
yeah,
And then I'm
barely.
pretty sure he went to jail. I think he did some shit. All right. Sunday, January 26th, first game. You got the Commanders taking on the Eagles. The Eagles are 6-point favorites. The total sits at 47.5. Which one's your lock?
I don't know.
Me neither. Same situation with Ohio State. I'm going to be clouded in my judgment with the Buffalo Bills because, as I said a million times now, we are sitting on 11-1 to win the Super Bowl. Placed it back in week 2.
I guess the next one will be my lock, but I mean,
Okay.
looking at it, I'm just being transparent, not like super confident in either one of these games.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's tough. Which way are you going? First one, Commanders, Eagles.
Yeah, I'm kind of undecided. In the first game, Philadelphia was Thursday night in Philadelphia. The Eagles won 26-18 with a yards per play margin of 2 yards better than the Commanders. The Eagles had a balanced attack. They leaned on the rushing game. 228 rushing yards, 5.7 yards per carry. But the Eagles were only 1 for 3 in the red zone. They finished the game 9 for 16 on third down. The Eagles' defense played really well. They slowed down Washington, held them to 18 points, 264 yards, and Washington was 3 for 12 on third down. In the second game, this was the game that Jaden Daniels really came out and kind of proved himself, probably got himself into the Pro Bowl with this game. He threw 5 touchdown passes and ran for 81 yards on the ground as well. This was the game Hurts got hurt, knocked out with a concussion. The Commanders did turn the ball over 5 times in a game. The Eagles struggled without Hurts. They were 3 for 16 on third down, despite running for 211 rushing yards, 5.4 yards per rush. It's kind of it's tough to see. Obviously, looking at these numbers, the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball.
Yes.
No one can stop them from doing that, even with a backup quarterback. It's the question is can Jaden Daniels keep doing what he's doing? Or is this where the clock strikes midnight and the Eagles kind of run away with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that is the question. So, and I don't feel confident in the answer. I lean Eagles. I lean Philly. I was on Philly both times in the regular season. First time, obviously, they covered like you touched on. The second time was a wacky matchup, and you might have just dove into this. I was reading some on my phone, but Jalen Hurts got hurt very early. Kenny Pickett came in. They had a 2-touchdown lead going into the second half, if I remember correctly. The Commanders turned it over 5 times and were able to come back and heroically win the game at the end because Jaden Daniels is just good. But Washington's run defense is terrible. They've been on the road for the last like month. Let me look at it. They've played. This will be their 4th consecutive road game. At Dallas, at Tampa, at Detroit. Now going on the road to Philly, divisional matchup. I lean Philly. I also lean the under. So the Commanders just lost an offensive lineman to an ACL injury. Did you mention that?
Mm-mm.
It was their best lineman. I'm blanking on his name. In that last game, they lost him. So that's big because you've got Jalen Carter on that defensive line. It's one of those just, dude. It feels like this should be 4 points. At least that's what in my brain. I feel like this should be a 4-point game in favor of Philly. But the fact that it's 6, I don't know. It is tough. I lean Philly currently with the points.
Yeah, the other thing to mention is the red zone efficiency of these teams in the first 2 games they played each other. The Eagles were 3 for 7 on red zone opportunities, and Washington was 5 for 6. And the Eagles' offense, they've kind of struggled in the red zone this year. 21st ranked red zone offense. Washington's defense isn't really good anywhere. They have the 21st ranked red zone defense. Where both teams are good in the red zone is Washington on offense and the Eagles on defense, but it seems like Washington's kind of getting the better of these red zone opportunities in the first 2 matchups. So it's tough because the Eagles' passing offense hasn't looked good.
Yeah.
Since
It's
return.
looked like shit. It's looked like shit.
So,
and if it looked like it had a pulse, this would be a no-brainer. But that's one of the key things, too, here. Is he going to – I think he's just not very good. It's to that point now because it's been week after week.
And he's banged up a little bit now.
Yeah. But – so I lean under and I lean Philly. Which one do you like better? Or do you like Philly at all? Sounded like that was the way you were leaning. We're just questioning because we have such a high regard and respect for Jaden Daniels.
I've been the biggest Jaden Daniels doubter.
Yeah.
And all he's done is proven me wrong. So it's like, do I doubt him again, or do I come around and be like, okay,
or do we just go under?
this is it? But it's like, yeah, the Eagles can run the ball, but if it's not an explosive run from Barkley, then all of a sudden they struggle to get it in the end zone when they get down there.
It's going to be an explosive run for Barkley. Saquon Barkley's the best running back I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. Dude, he's incredible. He was their offense last week.
He's in a really good situation.
Okay, he is, but he's incredible.
There's been other running backs that if they were in that backfield, they'd be doing the same.
I have a
damn
Kenneth
thing.
Gainwell signed rookie card. You know what that's worth? Nothing. It's a
Yeah,
coaster.
and
I'll
Gainwell,
use
when
it as
he
a
gets
coaster.
in, he gets yards.
And I'll use that as a coaster if I ever run out of them because it'll never be sold for anything. If I had a Saquon Barkley rookie autograph, I'd be rich right now.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley's good. I get what you're saying. The offensive line's great. They're able to run the ball very
Well,
very
all the bums in the past years that have come to Miles Sanders.
Jay Ajayi?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Who's the one that plays for Chicago? No, DeAndre Swift. All these bums come in here and they can run because they're.
Well, then when you get an incredible running back, though, he goes for fucking
when
the
you
record
get the
almost.
guy, it's like all of a sudden they get those holes, and then
He has
one
a chance
misstep
to
by
set
a
the record.
linebacker, it's a 75-yard touchdown.
But so, I think. But he's also able to make shit happen when stuff does break down, too. He turns a loss of 2 into a gain of 3, and that's huge. So, with that D-line, I'm going to go Eagles. With losing the offensive lineman, dude, you got Jalen Carter. You've got all these guys on that D-line. Jalen Carter's incredible. He really is. So, I'm going to lay the points. I got to go 3rd time's the charm. I've been on them twice. They should have covered twice. What are you thinking? You going Commanders? I mean, what are your thoughts on the total? Like I said, I lean under.
Yeah, I do too. But that's the other thing to mention. The Eagles have dominated time of possession in both these games.
Mm-hmm. No,
I mean, obviously,
this is
the
back-to-back
second
games.
game that they lost, with 5 turnovers,
Yeah.
will definitely help your time of possession look better. But
Yeah. Oh, you're talking back-to-back. I get what you're saying. Midway through, I caught on. I thought you were talking about the last 2 playoff games because I was going to say the last 2 games for the Eagles, they have not looked very good, and they're getting wins. At what point do they look good, though? You know? I feel like they've made mistakes. They haven't been clicking. So are they just not that good, or have they not been playing great? And we're going to see them put it together offensively because this is a fucking bad defense. And
yeah,
it is.
It's going to come down to if the Eagles can finish drives. Because even in the first game that they covered, they weren't covering until the late explosive run by Barkley.
Yeah.
So.
Well, which way you going? I'm going Eagles.
What's the first half?
Probably 3.5.
What's the first half total looking at?
Oh, total. That's a good question.
Let me see. I'm going to pull it up.
Which way would you go in this one, Bam? Or what's your one? You got 2 games to pick from. What's your one going to be? Just make it this one, please.
I'll make it this one.
You don't have to if you feel super.
I was also going to say the under.
Okay. I was going to say, don't say the fucking Bills, please. Just leave. Just let me have
the
them.
under in the Eagles-Commanders game.
Okay. I like it. You're 0-2.
Yep.
Is this a lock?
Laws of averages.
Laws of averages. No such thing in sports betting. You good over there? You taking a nap?
I'm trying to see. I guess we'll go first half under 23.5.
Where'd you just go?
I went to the wrong for answers.
Oh, yeah. All right. You're going under 23.5?
Yeah, even though I don't love it because
Well, which one do you love?
none of them.
What can you lean on the most?
I can make a case for Washington or the Eagles.
What
here.
can you lean on the most? Death, taxes, and what? What would you fill in there in pertaining to this game?
Under.
Death, taxes, and under? No, death, taxes, and Saquon Barkley 2+ touchdowns. Yeah, no, they're not going to be able to stop the run. Eagles will be able to lean on the run. Jalen Hurts will wake up. Jaden Daniels, top 5 quarterback in football, but his team sucks. So, they know him too. This is that first matchup. They shut him down. They know him. They know how to shut him down. In all reality, that the 4th road game is ridiculous. That's a fucking lot of time to be away from home. I think it fizzles out this week. I think we see the Eagles get a decisive win, and they'll be back in the Super Bowl. Second time in 3 years, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The last game, the AFC Championship, the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 2-point favorites at home. The total also sits at 47.5. This is your lock of the week?
I guess so.
I guess it'll be mine as well. Which way are you going?
Yeah, they played earlier in this year, back in November in Buffalo. The Bills won 30-21. They were really able to control the clock, 9 for 15 on 3rd down. Up 2 was the gutsy call on 4th and 2, and Josh Allen scored a touchdown to make it a 9-point game. So they never gave Mahomes the ball back within 1 score down there late. It's kind of hard to tell where one team's going to have a significant edge here because I really don't know if they will. If I had to pick side, we would go Chiefs here. It's hard for me to bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I think the Bills are a little banged up in their secondary with the cornerback. I forget his name, but the safety Rupp.
Yeah.
The cornerback was in concussion protocol. He practiced in a limited capacity today. Rupp, I don't know what his status is going to be. It's a hip injury.
It didn't look good. They carted him off, which doesn't necessarily, like, if your hip hurts and they have a cart right there, fucking.
Yeah, in Kansas City, we know they can move the ball. They have the the 3rd-ranked 3rd down offense in the nation, even though we look at this offense as kind of struggling. They struggle when they get in the red zone, 24th in the NFL. But in the first matchup, they were 3 for 3 against the Bills in the red zone. I kind of see this as an old-fashioned duel between Mahomes and Allen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go over 47.5.
Me as well. Okay. I thought, yeah, okay, I get what you said you wouldn't go against the Chiefs on the spread. Crazy. It's fucking crazy. The Buffalo Bills are going to win this game. The Buffalo Bills are going to win this game. And it's not just because I have an 11-1 ticket on them. It's because people are tired of Patrick Mahomes and his bullshit. So, you got to beat the Chiefs and you got to beat the refs. We know it, but we played them already, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you just touched on it. 9-point win. I don't know if the Chiefs went down and scored. I'm going over as well. This is one of those where it's win or go home. You're one game away from the Super Bowl, so you're going to see these teams kind of empty the clip. You're going to see the offensive coordinators try to get in their bag like Ben Johnson throwing wide receiver passes, except Jameson Williams, maybe not the best guy for that. Maybe let Amon-Ra St. Brown throw it to Jameson Williams. You're going to see the offensive coordinators, Joe Brady. There's not going to be any conservative bullshit here. So we've seen this matchup before earlier. Couple years back, whenever the Chiefs got to the playoffs, it looked like the Bills were going to go 13 seconds. The Chiefs get in field goal range. I think we're going to see a lot of points in this one. When it comes down to it, you've got the two best quarterbacks in football. You got the MVP of the league if I was voting, but they don't give me a vote. I'm going over 47.5 as well. I don't know that the Chiefs really pose a threat of running the football. I don't know if you touched on any of that or not. Neither Hunt nor Pacheco looked good last week. They didn't really give it to him much, though. The key is here is the reason why Mahomes is so fucking good and just better than everybody else is because they're able to move the ball, obviously, but when they get down to the red zone, he doesn't panic. He's able to hold the ball to the absolute last second and make a good decision. So he can go off script and he can execute in the red zone, and it translates to points. So Josh Allen can do that as well. Who do you think's got the better offense?
The Bills.
Yeah.
But I think the Bills' defense is a serious concern.
Offense wins football games in this day and age.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Those guys, I was like, how the hell are these guys getting this open?
Yeah, it was bad. Kelsey's going to be wide the fuck open in the middle of the field all game.
And then, they're just getting more players. They don't have as many no-names now. With
Chiefs, you're saying?
Yeah, with Hollywood Brown coming in the mix, the more games they play, the better they're going to do.
They did not look good, though.
No, they didn't.
No,
and but it never felt like last game, you look at the box score against the Texans, the Chiefs were outgained by over 100 yards, but it never felt like the Chiefs were getting beat there. You know what I'm saying? Obviously scoreboard suggested that wasn't the case, but it just felt like they just didn't make many mistakes. They took more advantage of the Texans' mistakes. And
no, that's the thing. Yeah, they play efficiently enough. They get help from the refs, and they allow their opponents to make the mistakes, and then they capitalize off of them. So they'll play you straight up. It'll be an even matchup. You'll fuck up. They'll capitalize on that. They're not going to fuck up, though, until this week. I think the Bills win in a runaway.
You think?
No, I hope. I really hope.
I think it's going to come down to it's like it always seems like Mahomes is getting the ball fucking last, right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe this time
I can't.
Josh Allen will get it last for sure, and then they'll be able to kick a game-winning field goal as time's expiring.
My blood pressure was through the fucking roof last week. And that's another thing. I think the Ravens are better than the Chiefs. The Bills, due to some fortune, but also making plays, punching balls out and making plays when you need to. The Bills were able to outlast the Ravens and get the job done. I would argue that they were handling the Ravens in the first half and then took their foot off the gas and allowed them back into the game. But I think the Ravens are better than the Chiefs. Cold weather conditions. I don't give a shit about Arrowhead and all that. Shove Arrowhead up your fucking ass. It's going to be cold. The Buffalo Bills know cold weather football. Patrick Mahomes doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to get touched. He's going to hurt his little baby ankle. Josh Allen's going to take a fucking hit. James Cook is the best running back on the field. Josh Allen's the second best running back on the field. Buffalo Bills. Khalil Shakir might get fucking Super Bowl MVP. I will bet that.
You know who's getting the MVP.
Stop. If Keon Coleman gets the fucking...
Josh Allen's getting the fucking MVP without question.
No. Not it's worth a flyer.
If he has 3 touchdowns and he throws all of them to Shakir, they're still going to give it to Allen.
Not if they're screens. Not if they're screens and he's a fucking yards after catch guy.
He would have to throw a touchdown to get the Super Bowl MVP.
If Keon Coleman got Super Bowl MVP, I'd give you $5,000. But you got to reciprocate. Same thing for Khalil Shakir.
Okay, no.
Deal? What? Oh, so you think it's possible?
He's more possible to get it than Coleman.
You said Coleman was the best on the team.
Yeah, earlier. This Shakir kid, man.
He's a ball player. He's a ball player.
He's incredible. Coleman he's just a year too young.
Oh,
He's just a year too young. It took a while for
the
Shakir
chickens
to develop.
coming home to roost here.
Took a while for Shakir
We
to
sat
develop.
right here 6 months ago.
Damn idiot.
We sat right here back in July, and that's when you said that Khalil Shakir sucked. Now you see he's incredible. It's hit
Because
you
you
like a
roped
ton of
me
bricks.
in. You said Shakir's going to lead the league in receiving yards.
I
And
should have
was
said yards after catch.
Yeah, maybe.
He think he's second, and it's like close. He's fucking good. He just doesn't get the ball enough. They run it so damn much.
Yeah.
He's capable. Alrighty. So we're both going over, and I'm going Philly. You're going first half unders. Okay, so to recap, I'm taking the Eagles -6, and then I'm taking the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs over 47.5 as the lock of the week. Again, we're sitting on 11-1 Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl, and we're not fucking hedging because, I mean, it's too early anyway. But fuck Patrick Mahomes, dude. The NFL, everybody's tired of this. Everybody's tired of it. You want to see the Chiefs and the Eagles again? Or do you want to see fucking Josh Allen go out there and win one?
You might see Jaden Daniels in there.
Conspiracy theorists would say that would control the outcome of the second game. If Jaden Daniels gets there, then you let Chiefs go because you can't have fun. Then it's a different matchup. But if the Eagles win, Bills.
Yeah.
Can't see the same matchup in two out of 3 years. So recap yours.
All right, we're going Washington Eagles first half under 23.5, and then in Bills Chiefs we're gonna go over 47.5.
Alrighty. And Bam, your best bet is the under in Commanders and Eagles 47.5.
That is correct.
Alrighty. Law of averages, Bam says this one can't lose. Episode 214 is in the books. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Again, we appreciate all of you. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Nope.
Alrighty. College football season is in the books. If you're only a college football listener, we appreciate you greatly. We will see you in about 5 to 6 months. We'll be back to do it all again. NFL, money to be made. Obviously, we got this week. We'll probably take the week off. We'll be back in here to break down the Super Bowl, giving you all of our best bets, prop bets, everything you need. In the meantime, in between that, I will probably be back giving out college basketball bets. More money to be made. We appreciate everybody listening along the way. Episode 214 is in the books. Y'all have a good one. Who dat?
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this, a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.